Hello.
Hey,
We're coming to you remote today, and I'm up close and personal. Josh is kind of too. The lighting is horrible if I back up, so you got to get right up in your kitchen. So we're doing our previews of the teams, two divisions at a time. We did the NFC the last 2 weeks. This week we'll do the AFC South and North. Next week, AFC East and West, and then maybe a week of over unders and kind of like um, water cooler talk heading into the first games. And then the season will be upon us. Oh yeah, we gotta do the spreads for the first week, I guess. So that's what that is. So let's get into it. We have the Tennessee Titans, who many are picking to win the Super Bowl. No, they're not at all.
wait a minute, did you say
So
the Titans?
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a scary name. Other teams should
Uh-huh.
fear them, I think. So you got
I mean,
what? Cam Ward, his quarterback. Um,
yes.
he, I don't even remember. They were just so bad. I didn't even pay attention to him. Did he? Did he was. He had some moments, didn't he, where he was like showing some things towards the end of the year.
I mean, you sure. Definitely there were moments and look, he showed enough promise for the Titans to go out and hire Brian Dable as their offensive coordinator. So, I mean, I think that says it all, man.
Yeah, so I forgot that they did that. But so
Yeah.
with Dable came Wandale Robinson, who is the slot
Mhm.
receiver from the Giants. And if you remember towards the end of last year, Wandale Robinson was getting like 10 targets a game. The
Mhm.
Giants were just like, okay, let's throw some short stuff to him and let's get some first downs. And they started kind of playing a little bit better. So you get the Dable Robinson package if you're a Titans fan.
Winning. That just smacks of winning to me. Covered
Yeah,
in it.
and guess who they picked up as their backup quarterback, who used to be on your team when your team won a playoff game, not like 10 years ago,
Andy Dalton.
8 years ago, maybe 7 years ago.
I have like Josh McCown.
Who was the Bears quarterback when they the Doink year?
Oh, it was wait, Mitch Trubisky is their back because he was the backup in
Yeah,
Buffalo too.
yeah, he's just gonna try to play for every team, I think.
I guess. Well, good for him. I mean, you can make a buck in this league. Why not?
Yeah, so they picked up Daniel Bellinger from the Giants. Apparently, Dable just brought a bunch of Giants players over there. Let's see. Who did they lose? Legarius Sneed was released or cut. Released cut. I thought Sneed was on the Chiefs last year and got hurt, but anyway.
I mean, here's the thing. It's the Titans. It's like Robert Saleh's the head coach, and I just he was not great in with the Jets. And I mean, okay, so it was the Jets, and that's fine. But I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of belief that he's like the right man for the job, any job, and I don't know that that's true.
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
don't.
I don't know.
I don't know
Like,
either.
you look. You're either bringing in a guy because he has a fundamental understanding of the way that organizations work, and specifically football organizations, so much so that he can translate and communicate so effectively that everybody on that roster and everybody on the coaching staff and everybody in the front office is moving in lockstep and on the same page. Or you're some kind of genius. You're an offensive or defensive guru genius, and your methodology, your process is so good and so sound that it's just going to win out against the league. And I just think Robert Saleh has proved none of those things. We don't know that he's a master organizer, a leader of men, and we don't know that he's a defensive guru genius, right? I mean, supposedly that's where he's certainly coming from. He was the defensive coordinator for the Niners, and they were fine. Didn't win a Super Bowl, but they were fine. Got to there a few times, and then he sucked with the Jets. So I don't know, like the idea that this is going to be somehow magically better. No,
Yeah.
thank you. No, thank you.
So
They had Vrabel. This is the organization let Vrabel go. So I just, sound decision making, not their strong suit.
yeah, I'll just play devil's advocate a little bit. So what was I going to say? Maybe I don't actually have any good points. So, well, there was the whole thing with the Jets where it was like, is Rodgers trying to control way too much of this?
Yep,
And I think there was definitely something to that. Saleh
sure.
kind of felt like he was handcuffed, and I think that's probably maybe a big reason why he's getting another chance. I do think, I don't know. It seems like when he says stuff in the media, like it seems like he says the right things. Like he's a guy that I kind of, I don't know. I like what he says.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really have much more than that. So I do think he's gonna.
Yeah,
I do think he's worthy of being a head coach. I don't know. Like why? Like I guess you just take the person who hires you, but like I don't know that there's a lot of talent on this team yet. Like I think it's going to be another
mhm,
rebuild year. They're over under win
yeah.
total 6.5. So that's basically saying, do you think they're going to take a step and win 7 games, or are they not quite there yet and they're going to have another pretty bad year?
Yeah. Well, look, if the quarterback's good, right? Like if Cam Ward comes on, right, and he's playing like a top 15, top 10 quarterback, they're going to be great, right? If he struggles, they're not going to be very good. And it doesn't, I don't know what Saleh can do to, if that's the case, other than try to get Cam Ward right, so to speak.
Right. They're almost kind of like, for me, they're kind of like the Panthers, right? Like the Panthers were really bad. Bryce Young's first try at NFL quarterback was
Yeah.
bad. And then he came back, and last year he played pretty well. And I think if Cam Ward does the same thing, the Titans become the Panthers maybe this
Yeah.
year. Last year's Panthers team this year. Like you're around 500, and maybe you squeak into the playoffs if he plays really well.
If they
Now,
win 7 games, like to your point, I think this has to be looked at as a successful season for this team. Just
yeah,
there's no question. If they win 7 games, like they go over that win total, I think you can look at it as a success. There's no question.
yeah, they won 3 games last year,
They
three and
won 3 games.
14.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously you want to win. Well,
You
obviously you
do.
want to be around 500 and try to get into the playoffs, but who knows? I don't know that that's really realistic this
I
year
don't know.
unless they have some guys step up and really play well. All right, that's probably the worst team we're going to talk about the next 2 weeks, and I think we can kind of let it be what let that be and move on to the next team. All right, let's do the. Who's your favorite AFC South team? You got one
My
in
fa
mind?
I think the Texans will probably be the best team in this division.
Let's talk
Again,
about that team then.
yeah, I know they've got offensive line issues still, or at least questions. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that they are still better than most of the competition. I mean, I know the Jaguars won the division last year, but I don't know. We're talking about the Texans. So I think if CJ Stroud can be, I mean, there's a lot of people dogging CJ Stroud, and I look at him and he's got 2 playoff wins on his resume. And I know they didn't look very good last year, and he may have recessed a bit, but I don't. There are a lot of quarterbacks in this league who will never have two playoff wins on their resume. So I just if he's had it when he's needed it, and I think that still carries them through this season. And I think their coach is good. They've got a good
Yeah,
coach.
I think they are like absolutely a Super Bowl contender if they put it all together. Their
That
defense last
defense,
year,
yes. Thank
they
you.
won
Yes.
like I don't know, well, they won like 8 games in a row. Like they started like 3-3 or 2-4 or something, and then they won like 8 in a row, something like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
And their defense was just absolutely nasty. Like they had
Yeah.
games where their offense was so bad, but it kind of didn't matter because the defense wasn't letting the
Yeah.
other team move the ball.
Yeah.
And then you just think about like if they can protect Stroud and Stroud can play consistently, like how good they
Yep.
can be. And I actually kind of like I think they're a fun team to watch. Like
Yeah.
they are not scared one bit on defense. Like they are
No.
flying around.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we do not care if we get hurt, sort
Huh.
of a thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're absolutely the front runner in this division, right? I mean,
Would have to be.
the Jags made the playoffs last year, but
It did.
I'm still like I'm gonna continue my 2 year hatred of I can't even remember their coach's name,
Liam Cohen.
but Yeah, but I'm still not
Duval.
convinced that he's gonna
Uh,
be
agreed.
consistently good or anything like
Agreed.
that. I think they
Yes.
drop down for sure.
Yep. Yep. I agree with that
So
completely. Trevor
so
Lawrence
they
too. Like he's been consistent his whole career. So yeah, sign me up for that.
yeah. So the Texans signed Clowney and Edwards, Mario Edwards back. Who did they lose? They lost Laramie Tunsil. I think he's a very solid offensive
Yeah.
lineman.
Yep.
These other guys, I don't really recognize their names, so I don't know. Like, if you keep most of your defensive players and with D'Amico Ryan's like scheme and like how they go about things, like they're gonna be just fine, even if their offense isn't great. And if their offense is great, they're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be tough to beat them any week, pretty much. That's how I feel, I guess, about the Texans.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think I think they're the best team any which way you look at it. You know, quarterback, even given his limitations or whatever, CJ Stroud, coach, again, I think they're at the top. And then defense, certainly they were, they had a defense that rivaled Seattle's last year. So, yeah, no question in my mind.
Yeah. So they were 12-5 last year, and they won their last 9 games.
Yep.
So they were 3-5, kind of about what I said, 3-5,
Yep.
and then ripped off 9 in a row. Okay, let's talk about the Jaguars, who were 13-4 last year. Let's see here. Did they fire Cohen?
No,
I know.
not yet.
I'm joking. Okay, so
That was his first year too, right? Yeah, that was his first year. It's a hell of a
yeah,
season.
yeah, it
I
was.
mean, a hell of a regular season. They didn't look all that great in the playoff game, but you know,
Yeah, and there was a whole, like speaking of Sala a little bit ago. So Sala and him had the whole like sign stealing like spat in
yes,
the news after the game or
yes,
whatever.
that's right.
And I don't know, like I don't really know what to make of it. It sounds like Cohen does steal signs like more than most or something, but it sounds like everyone kind of tries to do it and he just got good at it. I don't
I
know what to
hate
make
that
of it.
shit,
It
man.
seems like,
I hate
yeah,
that
I
shit.
know.
Can't you just win the game? Can't you just like, figure it out? It just
Right.
ah,
So now those two guys are in the same
gross.
division. So you just wonder if like I don't think that's just going to go completely to bed. I think it's going to come back
No.
up, even if it's just like they're still mad about it or they're still because they were swearing at each other across the field
Oh
at the end
yeah.
of the game. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just it's so
So
fucking slimy. It's just that, and I think that's the Cohen just exudes that a little bit. I don't know him personally, clearly, never spoken two words to the man. So, I don't really have a good place to form an opinion. But yeah, he just kind of comes off as a little,
yeah, for
ugh.
sure. Yeah. So they get each other twice this year. We'll have to see if there's any fireworks in that matchup. So
Yeah.
Travis Hunter. Have you seen pictures of this guy lately? He's put on like 30 pounds of muscle. The dude's like jacked. And it says, well, is he going to try to play both ways again this year? I know last year he kind of,
Like that was
well,
a
he
total, like a stupid, like marketing gimmick, felt like,
yeah,
I'm
he
like,
did do it, I think, but
yes.
he was definitely focused more on what receiver, I think. I
Yeah.
don't think he played defensive back as much, but um, I don't know. I guess it's worth looking into. Maybe I'll pull that up quick. Is Travis Hunter playing both sides? Yeah, technically he is, I guess, but we'll see how that goes.
Mm.
But yeah, like the Jaguars, they just kept winning games that it didn't seem
They
like they should
did.
win. Um, I don't know. Like I think the Colts are probably decent again. I think Steichen's probably a pretty good coach. I think the Texans are definitely going to be
Yeah.
good. And I don't know, the Titans won 3 games last year. I think the Titans win more than 3 games this year. So if you figure every other team is going to be better besides the Jaguars, and the Jaguars kind of have a little bit of a target on their back and maybe had a little beginner's luck with Cohen at the helm. I don't know. I just don't see them coming close to what they did last year. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say they maybe, end up 8-9 or 7-10 and don't make the playoffs. That's where I'm going.
The Jaguars?
Yeah.
I mean, this definitely feels like a division where there's a team that has a decent record that doesn't make the playoffs. Right. So you're right, like 10-7, winning season, won some tough games, but the conference has evolved around them, and that's just not good enough this year. I could see that happening. It'll be really, I think the question here in this division is, the Colts won, 8 straight? They were 8-0 and then proceeded to lose like 9 straight and then missed the playoffs completely after investing heavily in a cornerback who then like blew out his knee. And then their quarterback, who they also signed to a long-term deal, has like a knee injury, and maybe did he also break his leg? Like last year, he was playing on like a sprain something, and so anyway, like he kind of fell apart, and he's an unproven quantity. So yeah, man, I don't know what you're gonna get out of the Colts. I do think Steichen's a good coach, though, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll jump into the Colts a little bit more in a bit, but one more thing I wanted to mention on the Jaguars. So ETN left, so he signed a 4-year, $52 million contract with the Saints, which we mentioned the other day. But I don't know. That's another piece. It's like, running backs are a commodity, but from what I remember, he had a really good year last year. I don't know that you just, and I know they had, what was it, Byshul Tootin was their rookie last year. I think their thing is like, we're not going to pay that guy. Like we can do just as well without him. We'll see. I don't think that's going to be true, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's do your Colt skis. Is Daniel Jones healthy?
He's not currently healthy. Like he's still recovering, I think, from that ACL tear.
All right, let's find out for sure. Daniel Jones injury. He is fully participating in training camp following his Achilles tear, but his Achilles tear
was so not an ACL, Achilles. Okay.
Right, and I think it was more like 2/3 of the way through the season rather than like right at the end. So it sounds like he's whatever. But which Daniel Jones are we going to get now? Last year, I guess it just depends if they can protect him because he's accurate. Like he can play, obviously.
Yeah. He can play in the pocket, so that's the strength, right? So he is slightly mobile, absent that one play everybody saw where he was completely on his own running downfield and then tripped over his own feet. But he's got some mobility. He's a big guy, 6'5", something like that. So he's burly-ish. He can move a little bit, but he is a pocket quarterback, so that helps him, right? But he needs that Achilles to plant and put oomph behind the ball, right? To engage that lower half of his body. So if that's not right, even if the offensive line is okay or good or decent, that may impact his ability to throw the ball, especially deep. So I don't know. Right. I mean, that's just like if he's healthy, then that's a viable team. I feel like, right? If he's not, then they're going to struggle. Those 2 first rounds for that cornerback are going to look real suspect.
Yeah, and we mentioned this last year quite a bit because we're like, the Colts are playing a lot better than we thought, and then it's like, if you protect Daniel Jones, he is a good quarterback, and they're doing that. And then when you have Jonathan Taylor, it's like,
elite running game. So let's not even cover like elite running game, like top 2-3 running game in the league last year.
And then Alec Pierce kind of had a little bit of a breakout year. I'm seeing now they re-signed him to a pretty big contract.
Yep.
So Michael Pittman Jr. is gone, but he was kind of like he didn't have it. Like it was almost like he's washed. Like he's not what he used to be, which is crazy because what he used to be only seems like a thing for like a year or two. But anyway, Pittman went to the Steelers. Zaire Franklin went to the Packers. Kwity Paye left. Wow, these are some decent names that left. Ebicom and Gallimore are gone. So I don't know. It almost seems like they lost more big names than they retained. But again, I don't see a lot of offensive linemen that departed, and that was one of their strengths last year. So I think they're probably just fine. I don't know. Are the Colts like a sleeper, like win a playoff game team this year? They could be.
They could, again, if he's healthy, yeah. If Jones is healthy, I think yes, absolutely. Why not? If he's healthy, I like him better than the Jaguars.
Yeah, absolutely. Hands down, I do too.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Maybe that's stupid, but because I was going to say that they created in that playoff game, but no, they were competitive in that game against the Bills, and then Josh Allen had a little bit of a miracle at the end there to win it. But
Right.
so,
Okay, so we both I think we I don't know if groupthink is a thing, but we're on the Texans. We
yeah,
think the Colts maybe second. Jags are kind of around 500, and then the Titans are who we thought they were.
emerging
All right.
potentially.
Yeah. Emerging. That's a good positive word, huh? Okay. What did I say? We're gonna do the North, right? Let's do
Yeah.
the Ravens. Okay. The Ravens.
Yeah, the new
What's up?
hotness.
Yeah, so they got who's their quarterback?
I think its name is Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah.
He may have won
Lamar.
an MVP or two.
Now we get to find out if Lamar without Harbaugh is as
Was
good as
Harbaugh the
Lamar
problem?
with Harbaugh.
Was he
Yeah,
too? Was
exactly.
Harbaugh too Tom Thibodeau? Was he pushing him too
Yeah.
hard? Were they having too much practice? What's up, buddy?
Where are the wipes?
I'll get him in a second. Um,
Uh,
yeah, I think that's
yeah.
a good question.
So they signed Trey Hendrickson and Chidobe Awuzie, one of the most fun names to say in the whole league for sure. Who else? They got Tyler Huntley as their backup still, so there's some good continuity there. If Lamar goes out with a hamstring, if Lamar goes out for a hamstring for 3 games, Tyler Huntley can win you 2 games sometimes. Linderbaum was their center. He left.
2 small tables next to them.
He's considered one of the best centers, I think, in the league, but I'm sure he got a million, like many millions of dollars. Isaiah Likely's gone. That's interesting.
I think their best wide receiver is still Zay Flowers, which,
Yeah. Patrick Ricard's gone, so you're not going to see the big fullback in there. But,
different offensive system.
Exactly. Certain coaches love the fullback and they know how to utilize him, and other ones hate it because their system doesn't fit it. But
it's important to point out because they've got a new coach. Their OC is Declan Doyle, who was from the Bears last year. He was the Bears offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And so people are expecting big things from Declan Doyle, bringing that Ben Johnson magic, the Ben Johnson system to Baltimore. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Who's their head coach? Why
Jesse Minter? He was the defensive coordinator. So was he the defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh in San Diego last year?
Oh yeah, right. I'm remembering all this stuff.
Yes, and so this is again you're looking at maybe a reaction to we had Mike McDonald on the staff, and oh no, we let him go, and guess what? They won a Super Bowl, and John Harbaugh didn't win a Super Bowl recently. So, you have some reaction maybe there to going out and getting the defensive-minded head coach who can now, I don't know, win a Super Bowl.
So I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about the Ravens. Like, new coach, they lost their center, who I think very much is considered a top 2 or 3. Whenever you hear announcers talk about him, they're like, this guy's a stud. Like, he's a beast. So you kind of lose a little bit of that core. You lose your coach. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. Maybe they're a playoff team, but I don't know that they're like a 13-14 this year.
This was a team that had a lot of dysfunction last year, and in preceding years they were very heavily penalized. They were a heavily penalized team, which has always bothered me because again, Harbaugh is supposed to be. He's not. He was a special teams coordinator before he was a head coach. He wasn't offensive guru, wasn't defensive guru. He ran special teams for Andy Reid in Philadelphia. And so his job, like what makes him special, supposedly, is again, he's coordinating all of it, right? He's sitting at the center of all of it and he's making it all work, tick and tie. And so one of the ways that his expertise should manifest is in a disciplined team that doesn't commit a bunch of penalties. But this is a team that committed a lot of penalties. And in some cases, those penalties were disastrous in terms of them winning games. So it just feels like maybe all that goes away now that Harbaugh's gone, but I just feel like that there's something within this team's DNA right now that is going to prevent them from achieving success, like great
Yeah.
success, like they want. This is going to be, I agree, feel like a very transitional year for them.
Yeah, and then at the same time, it's like Lamar Jackson is really good if
It's
he
great.
plays well, and if the coach
Yeah,
fits, then yeah, I mean, obviously, you can always teams are
sure.
trying to be good, so you can always kind of make a case
Yes,
for
of
teams
course.
if things go right. But
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. You got the. I mean, the Browns were bad again last year. Maybe if the
Yep.
Browns have a slight uptick, you got to think the Bengals are going to be better than they were, and
Yes.
then the Steelers made the playoffs last year, so they're going to be competitive. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I think the Ravens maybe take a little step back this year. All
Hmm.
right, let's do the Browns. Who who won the quarterback job here? Do we know?
We don't. Although what I heard recently was that it was uh Watson was making a play for the job and that he had
Yeah,
come out and looked very strong in practice.
so he is listed as the number one, but that doesn't necessarily mean the battle's over. So Watson, Sanders, Gabriel, apparently. They got Quinshawn Judkins and Dylan Sampson. That's a pretty solid 1-2 punch. I think Judkins got banged up a little bit last year, but he was having a pretty solid year when he was in there. Um, Jerry Judy, I think, finally had a really solid year. If I remember right, KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston. Are those both rookies? I don't even know who those guys are. Those are their other two receivers, apparently. Harold Fannin Jr. at tight end. I don't know. I don't know if I get warm fuzzies about the Browns being a playoff team.
I
Although,
mean, do we ever?
remember pre-massage Deshaun Watson, how good he was that year?
I,
I just want him to be that good so that there's another fun team to watch because the Browns are perennially like one of the teams
bad.
that aren't that fun to watch.
No, they've sucked for decades consistently. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like this is a team that hired the coach that nobody wanted, right?
Munkin.
Yeah. Which again, uh, no knock against Munkin because his dad was the coach at my high school football team. He's my high school. The stadium's named after him, I think. Uh, but I remember those short shorts. Uh, but like so I hope he does well, right? But this is just not the type of the organization that you have a lot of faith in for doing well on a consistent and ongoing basis. They traded away their best defensive player, maybe the best defensive player in the league. And so what do you have? Like you have a lot of questions at quarterback, you have a lot of questions at head coach. Maybe you have a running game and you have still some decent line play, both sides of the ball. But yeah, man, this feels like a 7-win team, 6-win team.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, if whoever plays quarterback has a really solid year, they could be in the mix, but I don't know
Yeah,
if I see it.
yeah, I don't
Um,
either.
and yeah, it's like, oh, we need a coach because we fired ours. Okay, go to the scrap heap. I don't think Munkin, like Munkin, he calls he's a very good offensive coordinator, but I don't know that a lot of other teams were like, this is the guy. Like we
I
gotta
don't
have
think he
him.
wasn't. That's right. Like he was in contention to be the OC of the Giants, right? When following Harbaugh there, and then Cleveland. Look, they're taking a chance. That's fine, but this definitely feels like the kind of it's like a bridge hire. It's right. Oh, we know we're going to suck. We don't have the right quarterback in camp. We don't have the right quarterback on the roster. So we got to hire a guy to manage us into a really shitty record so that we can get a chance at like more young quarterback talent. Like that's what this feels like to me, right? Like the
Yeah,
expectation is like we're drafting 1, 2, or 3 next year, and we hope we get it right on the quarterback this time.
yeah.
That's
If
what
the
this
Browns
feels
win
like.
If the Browns win 10 games, good for them, but it's just not happening. I
Dude,
don't
if
see
they win
it.
10 games, the owner's got to be pissed. GM is going to be pissed, man. This feels like a real like major league situation here.
They can always trade up if they really need a quarterback, right?
Sure.
All
Yes, that's true.
right, the Browns. Let's be done with the Browns. Let's move over
Please.
to the Steelers. Did you see they asked Thielen, or Thielen came out and talked about like how it was playing with Rodgers
Yeah.
and like how much you had to like be focused on what he was doing with like his
Yeah.
cadence and all that stuff,
Uh-huh.
where Thielen didn't even feel like he could try to read the defense like pre-snap, which
Yep.
is crazy, right? Because like, well, I don't know if crazy is the right word, but so Adam Thielen, right? He made a living on being a possession receiver.
Yep.
He was
Yep.
one of the best at reading the defense, sitting down in zones, all that. But now you play for a quarterback in Rodgers who's trying to dissect all that, and he wants
Yep.
you to pay attention to him.
Yep.
And it's like too many cooks in the kitchen sort of a thing. But I thought it was
Yep.
funny how like you get a little exposure on Rodgers being kind of a control freak with things,
Yeah.
just by way of that interview. I thought that was interesting.
That's crazy. The Steelers situation is so fascinating because are there any two coaches more inextricably linked by coaching tenure and frankly coaching results than Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy and first names? Like they became coaches roughly around the same time, and they have remarkably similar career records, playoff records. They both have Super Bowl rings. McCarthy won his ring against Tomlin. I mean, they're very, very similar when you look at just the raw metrics. And you replace one with the other, and I'll just be honest, I would rather have Tomlin again. I don't see what you like about Mark McCarthy as your head coach.
And
I just
didn't
don't.
didn't McCarthy and Rodgers have kind of like a bad falling out
That's why he
originally?
left. That's why
Right.
Rodgers left, right? Because he left Green Bay with a lot of acrimony, right? And McCarthy stayed, and that relationship was done. They did not and that was the whole book on McCarthy anyway. That his playbook, his perspective was played out, and he was a dinosaur, so he wasn't trying to adapt or modify it. So again, his continued people's desire to have him as their head coach just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, this just
Well,
feels like a bridge hire.
yeah, is it like well, absolutely. Even if it's just like, okay, Rodgers is saying the grass wasn't greener. Like I did win a championship with McCarthy. I think we can kind of like maybe he wasn't as bad as I thought. Like I think we can maybe put something together. And how crazy would it be if we won it with two different teams, sort of a thing. But yeah, I mean, like this is wild. I would have thought that McCarthy never gets another head coaching job after Dallas, and I guess
This is a fluke. Like this had to be like what you just said. Like Rodgers was circling it, and so it was like if we get these two, maybe we can reignite some magic from 16 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a good story until week 5 when they're 1-4, and then it's not. Well, then he's the first one fired, right? Here's our candidate, maybe.
Wow. Do you really can McCarthy 5 weeks in if they've only won one?
Well,
That's a fascinating question. Wow.
if
Huh.
Rodgers is in your ear, I mean, you're not going to fire Rodgers, right?
Why
Oh,
not?
here's a better story, which
Yeah.
will never happen. Rodgers plays so bad that they bench him,
Yeah.
and then he quits. He's
Okay.
out.
Love that.
And then, well, someone else would pick him up, right? Like, there's teams who would want a half a season of Rodgers, right? Even if he's looking washed.
Yeah.
So who would he go to? I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But those are the potential fantasy storylines. All right.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
win then? If then that scenario, can you win the Super Bowl with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback?
Yeah, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer leading the squad. I think so. No.
All right.
Okay, so they signed Pittman, who seems kind of washed, but maybe he just needed a fresh start. Jaquan Brisker from the Bears. This is where Dowdle went.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's
Like
not
Dowdle.
bad free agency stuff.
I mean, they could be a 9-win team. This feels like 9-win feels right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess you just have to go off of last year. Like, they're going to be what they were last year, basically, right? With a worse coach. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they struggle. It's going to be kind of funny if they win 6 games and they were 500 or better every year under Tomlin, and now he's gone, and then they win 6 games. I think there's a lot of pressure to live up to that. I think
There must be, but I feel like, I don't know. What has this team done? This is a team that has just tried to recycle. It's a team that feels like it's decided to try and stay old or mature or like veteran way longer than it should have, and it probably should have hit the reset button much sooner. So this again, you hire McCarthy because you feel there's enough juice here to get one last push to win a Super Bowl. It's just like it makes like you should have hit the reset button. Their desire to not do so just doesn't make any sense to me.
right. And now you got Highsmith and Watt, who are like you said, like they're ready to win now. They're
Yeah,
almost kind of like not too far away from past their prime.
they're in their 30s.
I was just gonna look that up. So Highsmith is 31 and Watt is 29.
All right, so he's close to
Um,
30. Actually, 29 is still pretty good. But I mean,
but yeah, like I don't
it's
know.
not
Are there
25.
right? Are there a lot of edge rushers who are like 35 in the league? Like you can play till you're 40 if you're like Calais Campbell in the interior or something like that. But
For the kicker.
yeah, 50 if you're a
Yeah.
kicker.
Yeah.
Nick Folk is 72.
Yeah.
No, he's probably not even that old. He just seems old. I gotta look it up real quick.
He's probably pushing 40.
Oh, he is 41. All right, that makes me feel a little better. He's my age.
Yeah.
He is actually younger than me. What in the hell? That's crazy. He's a couple of months younger than me. Okay, so uh, Steelers. I don't know. Hopefully bad and maybe 500-ish. But
Yeah.
do you see any scenario where they're 13-4 and they're like the
No.
1 or 2 seed in the AFC? I don't
No.
either.
Like not even close. No. Like
Yeah.
if they get to the playoffs, it's as the 7th seed. I would be, and again, I don't know anything about football, so like whatever my shock is worth, like I would be fucking stunned.
Well, maybe we should do a podcast on something we do know about.
Oh fuck, dude. I don't know what that is. Like,
All right, let's go to the Bengals, the last team that we haven't
uh-huh.
talked about today.
Yeah.
They signed Dexter Lawrence
Yeah.
from the Giants. Very,
Mhm.
very solid defensive player. Jonathan Allen. Who else? Ooh, Joe Flacco and Josh Johnson as veteran quarterback depth. Who did Flacco finish the season with? Was it the Bengals? Because
It must have been. They traded because he was on Cleveland's roster and they trade for him.
yeah, because Browning was so bad he couldn't like
Yes.
bridge the gap until
Yep.
until
Yep.
Burrow got back. All right. They lost Logan Wilson and some guys I don't know, but hopefully they drafted a lot of defensive talent because they lost Trey Hendrickson. You bring in Dexter Lawrence, but he's a inside guy, right? He's not a defensive end, I don't think. So maybe Lawrence stops the run, and then I don't know. Hopefully they picked up some guys. I pull for the Bengals because my son's a big Bengals fan, and I kind of like Burrow, so I kind of
Yeah.
hope he stays healthy and they have a good year. But until I see what their defense actually is, I don't know what to think of this team. I like to think that they're a 12-win team, but who knows?
So they're my favorite to win the division right now. I think I like Burrow the best, right? I like his situation the best, which is not saying a lot, right? Like you don't have to be a 12-win team to win this division. I don't feel like. Feel like you could probably win this division with 10 games. Uh, but I just yeah, I don't know. I with everything with all the turnover in Baltimore, to me this feels like the most stable team. And also they made he made a Super Bowl. As good as Jackson has been, he's not done that. I don't even think he's made an AFC championship game. So that may be
I think
not
you're
true. He may
right.
have, but anyway, like he's just not done it. So Allen hasn't done it. You know, it's been Mahomes and then Joe Burrow. So this is my pick to win this division. Maybe 10, 11 games, I think does it. Burrow's supposed to be fully healthy for whatever that means, at least at the start of the season. So, yeah, give me this team.
Yeah, I agree. And then week 4 comes around and Burrow broke some weird bone in his foot
That's
that
it,
required
right? Yep.
4
And
years of
he's out. That's
surgeries.
it. That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm pulling for him. I hope they
Yeah,
finally
me too.
figure it out. And if they do suck to start the year, it's probably finally time for the coach to go, right? Like he's been there
I can't
a
believe he
long
made it
time.
this long. It's been Burrow injuries have probably saved his job like consistently. Again, yeah, I think the Steelers won 10 games last year. So they won the division. They took the division. It wasn't really even close at 10 games. Feels like this is, again, I don't think you're going to get one team out of this division. That team only probably needs to get to 10. And then the rest of these people or teams are probably going to hover around 8, 9 wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. Do we have any Super Bowl contenders out of these divisions? I mean, we kind of already mentioned the Texans, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when you have Burrow, obviously that's always a conversation, but the rest of their team obviously needs to be a lot better, and he needs to stay healthy. But
You've got 2 Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks in the division, right? And Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. So with that part of the equation solved, yes, you can say that these two, at this point in the season, you can say that they're contenders. Sure.
right. Let's just do something real quick.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna Google Super Bowl odds just to see what the wise guys think. So you said this already, but the Rams are plus 500, so 5-1, which is a pretty heavy favorite at this point, I would say.
Yep.
Rams, Bills, Seahawks,
Ravens,
Texans, Chiefs, Chargers, Patriots. So the Texans, Chiefs, Chargers, Patriots, Eagles are all about the same after that first initial wave. So, I mean, what are the Bengals? Like, the Bengals aren't even on that list. I don't know. Like,
I'm looking at plus 2,000 is what I saw. My quick Google
okay,
search.
interesting. So yeah, I don't know. Like, if you think if you have reason to believe the Bengals defense is definitely going to take a step forward, and why not, right? Like,
Yeah. Or the offense can be that much more explosive than the rest of the league.
right. All right. So, any last words for the North and the South?
No.
All right. I think we're good for today. We're going to do the AFC East and the West
Close it out
next week. I think we got the South was kind of I don't know. I always think of the AFC South as like the not as interesting division. So we got that one out of the way. So we'll do the kind of the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, and Patriots, Bills next week. Go Vikings!
Go Bears!